All right, so here's the prosperity question of the week. What do you do when your dream dies? That's what we're going to talk about next. Hey everybody, Randy Gage here. I want to welcome you to another episode of Prosperity TV. I'm home in San Diego and I want to talk to you about that fascinating question. What do you do when your dream dies? Got to tell you, I will never forget. It was, it's more than 20 years ago, almost 25 probably. I was driving up I-95 in Florida, my girlfriend at that time in her car, because I didn't have a car, a house or anything. I was driving up 95 and I broke down crying, thinking about having to call my mother and tell her that my restaurant that I owned had been seized by the tax authorities, the IRS here in the US, and they were going to auction it off. I was like the first guy in my family who went into business for myself and was supposedly successful and worked hard and did all that stuff. And we had started it, a partner and I had started it. We didn't really have enough money to start a place. We kind of bootstrapped it, got behind on the taxes, and they came and seized the place. And I'm telling you, it was just emotionally crippling for me. It just seemed crushing to me. I didn't know how I would ever rebuild my world again. But I got to tell you, here it is 25 years later, and if I think back on everything that happened in my business life, that was the best thing of anything in my career that happened to me was the day they took that restaurant away from me. But I had no way of knowing it at the time, of course. I had I was just emotionally wounded. I actually went down to South Miami where nobody knew me. I got a job in a diner where I was a breakfast cook. I went in every day at 6 in the morning flipping eggs at a diner in a drugstore. Just because nobody knew me there, and I had to get away and rebuild my psyche. But I got to tell you, because they had seized the restaurant. I had no house, no car. I was $55,000 in debt. I mean, at that time, $55,000 might as well have been $100 million. But it was the best thing because it made me rethink my life, and I decided, I'd always wanted to be a writer. Maybe I'd do some writing. I started doing some freelance writing, and that turned into just a lot of things that led me on the path to where I am today. And I think I have the best job in the world, other than, maybe starting shortstop for the Yankees or the Marlins or someone else. But other than that, in terms of the real world jobs out there, I love what I do. And I would have never got here if that restaurant wasn't taken away from me, because I would have been stuck in the get up every morning around 9:30, go into the restaurant around 11, and I worked till 4 a.m. After 4, we were open till 4 a.m. every day, delivery pizza place. And so I'd get home around 5 in the morning, crash, wake up, go to work, and I did that every day. My day off, maybe I'd go in at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, do the orders, do the inventory, do the schedule. If everybody showed up for the night shift, maybe I could leave at 6 or 7 and go see a movie or go to dinner like real people did. I was trapped in that hamster wheel and thinking that I was living the American dream, because you guys know I came from a simple family, single mother, raised 3 kids by herself, worked very hard. We didn't have a lot of money, and so I owned a restaurant, so I thought that was a big deal. But it was a horrible deal. I basically bought myself a minimum wage job. So I got to tell you, sometimes this happens and we don't know. Now, if you would have asked me at that day, that week, that month, maybe even that year, I would have told you it's the most horrible thing that ever happened to me. But it really was the best thing that happened in my career. So I think of today, I'm kind of an angel investor, whether it's for apps, technology, startup stuff. And I think of the attitude that we have. We invest in startups, and if you're an investor like me, we don't expect them all to make it. We expect most of them not to make it. So we do these small initial seed round investments in a number of ventures, and we hope one or two out of 15 or 20 is going to pan out. And the ones that don't, we don't feel bad. We don't feel bad for the founders and the owners, and they knew it and we knew it, that hey, they've got this idea. It might get some traction in the marketplace. It might not, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it our best case scenario. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, we're going to close it down. We're going to find something else, and we're going to get the next idea. And that one may be the hot one. That one could be the next Twitter, the next Uber, the next Facebook, the next whatever, right? So one of the things I've learned is if an entrepreneur doesn't make mistakes, they don't make anything. So I'd like to, for this show this week, I'd like to suggest you kind of reframe how you look at your job, your career, your business, and failure in its entirety. And of course we could go through all the cliches and, when one door closes, another one opens. I really believe that. I know it's trite, I know it's a cliche, but I really believe sometimes we need to get doors slammed in our face. In other words, or we would never look at that another door. I would never be in the space I am today if that door wasn't slammed in my face. So I think it's important that when you have this dream, and we get so emotionally attached in our dreams that it's hard to be objective. And that's a good thing, because that's what gives us the passion, that's what drives it. But when it comes to a point, at some point we've got to have enough people in our life that we love them and they love us and we trust them and we know they'll tell us the truth, and we could say, hey, what's my chances here? What do you think of this? And they can say, hey, keep hanging in there, you're almost breakthrough, or they are qualified to tell you, and you're qualified to really think about this and say, I gave this my best shot, the market didn't respond, and it's time for me to look for the next idea and move forward with that. And there's just times in our lives where we need to do that. So part of it, you remember I did a show on this a couple years back of knowing when to quit. So, quitter is a bad word, nobody likes to quit, but sometimes it makes sense for us to quit and move on to the next project. Did this happen to you? Are you thinking about it now, going through any of those issues? If so, please share your comments with the community down below. And as always, share the channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this on Facebook, please share it to the people in your world. Until next episode, peace out. Love you. Live rich. Hey, next Monday, new show. Make sure you're back for that, because we're going to talk about the magic of leverage, and more specifically, how you use leverage to create wealth.